When Xabi Alonso walked into Valdebebas, the temperature of the club shifted. The corridors of Real Madrid had seen greatness, had heard the footsteps of legends and the echoes of victory, but the arrival of this Basque tactician carried something different, an air of inevitability. Not because of past glories as a player, but because of the silent storm brewing in his mind. Xabi Alonso Villano, once the conductor of Madrid's midfield, returned not with cleats, but with conviction. What he brings is not just a philosophy, it is an exorcism, a tactical purging of the ghosts that have haunted the Santiago Bernabeu since the slow decay of the Galactico era. The 4-4-2, that age-old structure that gave Real Madrid moments of order amidst chaos, now finds itself under siege. Not by brute force, but by 1,000 cuts of tactical ingenuity. Xabi Alonso has not come to tweak, he has come to transform. At Bayer Leverkusen, he orchestrated symphonies with players whose names barely left German borders. Now, with the world's finest under his command, he no longer needs to compromise. Structure and soul are to become one. The problem with Real Madrid had never been talent. They had it in truckloads. From Kylian Mbappe to Vinicius Jr., from Jude Bellingham to Eduardo Camavinga, the pitch glittered with potential. But the 4-4-2 is a stubborn relic. Predictable, rigid. It allowed players to survive matches but not dominate them. Under Carlo Ancelotti, that shape offered stability but at the cost of adaptability. And in the modern game, where innovation is currency, Real Madrid had begun to go bankrupt. Xabi Alonso's tactical revolution at Real Madrid starts with principles, not positions. He believes in zones, not numbers. While others draft blueprints with straight lines, Alonso sketches with movement. He has studied the best, Pep Guardiola's positional play, Jurgen Klopp's gegenpressing, but he mimics no one. His system is liquid. His players are not defined by their roles, but by their capacity to interpret the moment. The 4-4-2 stands no chance in this world of flux. At Leverkusen, he unlocked players like Jeremy Frimpong and Florian Wirtz by giving them platforms rather than prescriptions. At Real Madrid, he inherits superstars with egos that could eclipse the moon. But Alonso knows better than to battle egos head-on. He will bend the system around them, just enough to make them feel indispensable, but never more important than the idea itself. Kylian Mbappe will not be asked to become a dogged presser, but he will be shown, through repetition and reasoning, that pressing is not punishment. It is the beginning of possession. Mbappe's reluctance to press has been a thorn in Madrid's flesh since his arrival. He arrived with the swagger of a savior, but without the discipline to work for the crest. That attitude began to infect others. Vinicius Jr., once a relentless runner, began to pick his moments more sparingly. The star stopped burning as brightly off the ball. That is where Alonso's transformation begins, not with the ball, but without it. Unlike his predecessors, Alonso doesn't believe in endless pressing, but in surgical strikes. His Leverkusen and Madrid press with purpose, not passion. They lull opponents, baiting them into overconfidence, then pounce. This is why Alonso is obsessed with structure. Every player's position out of possession is calculated. Transitions are not just opportunities, they are traps. Real Madrid, under Ancelotti, ran less and reacted more. Under Alonso, they will run smarter. The team that once looked exhausted now must look energized. And it begins with clarity. Clarity in roles. Clarity in movement. Clarity in intent. He has made it clear that fullbacks are the bloodline of his system. Enter Trent Alexander-Arnold, a player whose technical ability redefines the role of a right back. While he may not replicate Frimpong's touchline sprints, his vision, crossing, and inverted runs in a midfield will provide Alonso the flexibility to construct a box midfield in possession. Alvaro Carreras, another signing close to fruition, brings verticality to the left. These are not just transfers, they're chess moves. Trent won't just flank the touchline. He will glide inward, forming a pivot, allowing Real Madrid to move fluidly between a back four and a midfield diamond. That fluidity is the death knell of the 4-4-2. Because while it remains a defensive shell for traditionalists, In Alonso's vision, it becomes a restrictive cage. Predictability has cost Madrid dearly against high-pressing sides like Manchester City and Arsenal. Under Alonso, those pressing traps will be dismantled. Real Madrid will no longer shrink under pressure. They will bait it, then bypass it with vertical passes that turn defense into attack in seconds. Jude Bellingham will thrive in such chaos. Given the license to roam, to break lines, to ghost into the box without being shackled by traditional midfield duties, he can now become the complete midfielder. But for that to happen, the base must be solid. Aurelien Tchouameni has shown signs of becoming that pillar. His late-season resurgence proved he can anchor the midfield, allowing Bellingham to surge and Camavinga to express. Yet Camavinga's development has stalled, played out of position, underused and misunderstood. Xabi Alonso sees a different future. He will return Camavinga to his essence, a two-way menace who can win the ball and carry it 30 yards forward in one motion. The young players under Alonso are no longer passengers. They are protagonists. Take Arda Güler, once a peripheral figure in Ancelotti's plans. Alonso is reportedly enamored by his creativity and believes in possession dominance. Arda, with his ability to thread needles in the final third, becomes not just useful, but vital. In Alonso's system, he is no longer waiting for scraps. He is at the heart of orchestration. But every symphony has dissonance, and Real Madrid's dissonance lies in its dressing room. Two stars, Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr., both see themselves as the face of the club. Yet there could be only one sun. The other must reflect. Alonso faces the delicate task of taming egos without extinguishing fire. This is where management meets psychology. During the Cristiano Ronaldo era, Karim Benzema and Gareth Bale knew their roles to orbit the Portuguese star. Now, with Mbappe and Vinicius clashing for that gravitational pull, harmony is fragile. Alonso must convince Vinicius to sacrifice, to defend, to serve, because this is now Mbappe's team. But what if Rodrigo stays? What if the mercurial Brazilian decides to fight for his place rather than flee for guaranteed minutes? His ceiling remains sky high, and Alonso's structure may finally give him the platform to rise. His underwhelming season mirrored that of the squad. A collective drop, not an individual failing. Alonso knows that, and if Rodrigo stays, he might yet become the best from the right, drifting centrally as the system shifts around him. And this brings us to the final nail in the 4-4-2's coffin: unpredictability. Under Carlo Ancelotti, the formation was a comfort blanket. But for elite sides, comfort becomes a curse. Opponents could script their defensive plans weeks in advance. Alonso offers no such luxury. He is a chameleon. One week, it's a back three with wide wingbacks pinning opposition fullbacks. The next, a false nine dropping deep, creating overloads in midfield. It is not a system. It is a philosophy of adaptation. Adaptability is where Alonso sets himself apart from the Guardiola or Klopp archetypes. They impose. Alonso reacts, not with fear, but with calculation. He spots the weakness, then shapes his team to exploit it. One fullback may invert, the other bomb forward. One winger may stay wide, the other cut in. This is not randomness. It is precision. It is tactical jazz, improvisation with structure. And all of this without losing sight of what Real Madrid is: a cathedral of drama, a theater of stars. Alonso doesn't seek to sterilize the chaos. He wants to sculpt it. Real Madrid has always been about moments. Those gasps from the crowd when a flick, a volley, a run splits time itself. But now, for the first time in years, those moments will come not from desperation, but from design. Still, questions linger. Will the locker room embrace him when the first loss comes? When Real Madrid stumbles at the Bernabeu and the Madridistas hiss their disapproval, will the players stay faithful to the cause? Carlo Ancelotti was a master of calm. He knew how to protect the locker room from the tabloid knives. Alonso is younger, less experienced. Can he withstand the tidal wave of expectation? He'll have to, because at Real Madrid, beauty is not enough. You must win. You must dominate. You must devour. And if you falter, there is no sympathy, only scrutiny. The board, the fans, the press, they will ask, is he ready? Is this Guardiola version 2? Or another bright mind crushed by the weight of the Bernabeu? But those who doubt forget one thing. Xabi Alonso was forged in fire. He captained Liverpool through Istanbul. He anchored Madrid through Mourinho's wars. He played under Guardiola, Ancelotti, Benitez, Del Bosque. He has absorbed every style, every structure, every storm. He is not just a student of the game, he is its scribe. The end of the 4-4-2 at Real Madrid is not merely a tactical evolution. It is a resurrection, a reclamation of identity. Under Xabi Alonso, Real Madrid will not only remember who they are, they will redefine what they can be. Now that the blueprints are revealed, will Xabi Alonso truly bring Real Madrid back to the top? Or will the weight of expectation crush him like so many before? Can he master the egos, the tactics, the pressure? Drop your predictions in the comments. And make sure to subscribe for more fearless breakdowns of the future of football's giants.